A remarkable feature of the 2018 World Cup in Russia is the use of technology. Goal line technology has helped in getting goals or disallowing goals, but the most remarkable is the use of the video assistant referee. As a result, referees have become more confident because he has a supplement, somebody who can guide him in decisions. Consequently, there have been many penalty decisions, some even disallowed because after consultation and after viewing the replay, they realize it is not a penalty. So some countries like Senegal and Morocco and Iran have been incensed and they feel the VAR rule is not favoring them. But in several cases, it has been extremely favorable because it allows for an exact. All it has led to an increase in number of goals. The fact that we've only seen one goalless draw in the league stage, it was France versus Denmark, and even in this round of 16, which is normally, very closely contested, there has not been a single goalless draw. Yes, 3 matches have gone to penalties, but there's not been a single goalless draw. So it is helping the attacking teams, and it is also, allowing the referees to give decisions with more conviction, especially as regards penalty kicks. I mean, France, the very 16, because Argentina finished second in their group, the whole group, the whole division got lopsided. Argentina finishing second in Group D, in which Croatia won, meant that they played France in the Group C winner in the round of 16. The top half of the draw had all the very tough teams. Teams which had won the World Cup several times, Brazil 5 times, Uruguay twice, Argentina twice, France won, and the highly favored Belgium. And the teams in the bottom half, with Germany not coming through, was comparatively weaker in that sense. Counting the regional competitions and the World Cups, the teams in the top half of the draw had won something like 92 trophies. Even the South American trophies are divided generally between these 3 countries. They won it 20-25 times. Whilst in the bottom half, there are barely 9 winners. Only Spain and England have won the World Cup. In those things, in that area. So there were a lot of all-European clashes in the bottom half of the draw, and as expected, 3 of those ended in going to the penalty shootout. Croatia-Denmark was a bit of a surprise, but Denmark managed to thwart Croatia, and Croatia finally got through because of Luka Modric, even though he missed a penalty in normal time, took his penalty in the penalty shootout. But of course, the biggest result here was on Sunday when the hosts upset Spain. It marked the end of an era of the tiki-taka and the end of an era of so many great Spanish players who we'll probably never see. Iniesta has already announced his retirement, but it is doubtful if even Piqué and Sergio Ramos and Diego Costa would be seen in the next World Cup or even in future international tournaments. Spain paid the penalty of changing their coach at the last minute. This was a major disaster to drop Lopetegui, Julian Lopetegui. He had faith in the team. He had set up this team. Fernando Hierro was a great player, but obviously his rookie coaching experience, he made a lot of blunders on that day. When he brought in Iniesta, he took off Diego Costa. So Iniesta threw passes, but Diego Costa was the fighter. Iniesta's passes went to a relative newcomer like Aspas. In the penalty, it was a complete disaster to give Aspas, the junior player, the last penalty. That is always given to somebody who's very senior, who's one of your best penalty takers. Either the first or the 5th penalty, those are the crucial ones. And many of us felt when he was walking up, Russia has won this. With credit to Russia, they kept their shape very well. Kapadia has obviously organized them very well. And the people like Kutapev and the old man, 38-year-old Sergei Ilyashevich were outstanding, as was the right back Mario Fernandes, whose grandparents were from Goa. And father even played briefly for Dempo Sports Club. Then they migrated, and he's now married a Russian girl, Mario, and got Russian citizenship. So these three were absolutely outstanding. And the way they control Spain, but Spain has become very predictable because they are one pace, they are a series of square passes, they obviously have to rethink this strategy because that golden generation is gone. And there's the tiki-taka and retaining possession. I mean, just possession is not enough. There is no penetration at all. And with people like Iniesta slowing down, no Xavi, no Cesc Fabregas, they don't have a good defensive midfielder also except Busquets. And Ramos and Piqué, the partnership is not as effective as it was between Carlos Puyol and Piqué because they were both Barcelona players and Puyol brought them that hardness. Jordi Alba has also slowed down. The right back, they also are trouble. So in a way, it is the end of an era for Spain. They have to totally revamp their team and maybe think of a new way of playing also. But credit to Russia, who were written off by their own fans and critics and former players that it's the weakest Russian team. But they have reached the quarterfinals. Great discipline. And Zuba and Alexander Golovin is really emerging as a great star. He's very creative. And the defense is very well organized, and their match with Croatia should be outstanding. England have also got over the jinx of the penalty shootout. They should have won this match in normal time. They made the mistake against Colombia of not defending in depth in the corner kick. It is known that Yerry Mina had already scored 2 goals of corner kicks. He's tall, he's nearly 6'5", and there was nobody really closely marking him, shadowing him, making sure he didn't jump. They should have wrapped up this match at that time, but full credit to Southgate and his team. Normally at such a time, and in the past, we've seen England become very fragile, they crumble. But this English team had a lot of resolution, and they stuck to their task. They battled the 30 minutes. They didn't concede a goal there, though Colombia had better exchanges. And in the penalty shootout, at one stage, Colombia went 3-2 ahead. So many of us at that time felt, Colombia will win when Jordan Henderson missed his penalty kick. But then the young Jordan Pickford of Everton made a great save, and one shot hit the post, and Kevin Trippier and Eric Dyer scored for England. So the jinx of losing a penalty shootout, England have got over. This will help them in the battle of in northern European countries, the Nordic countries. Sweden got the better of Switzerland. Switzerland greatly missed their 2 defenders, Lichtsteiner and Schreier, who both had 2 yellow cards. This always plays a major role in the World Cup. The teams who don't have enough depth in the squad, like the France or Brazil, if crucial players go out, because Djourou and Michael Lang, who came, were not of the same caliber, and Sweden finally got the winning goal to Emil Forsberg. They badly missed Lichtsteiner, who was to move up very well in attack. Shaqiri did create several moves, but Switzerland couldn't get a goal. So Sweden will take on England in the quarterfinal from that half, and Croatia take on Russia. And of course, the winners here will meet each other in the semi-final. The best other great matches, the really 2 great round of 16 matches were played in the top half of the draw. Brazil had it relatively easy against Mexico, but the 2 most outstanding matches were Argentina versus France, which is one of the greatest matches of all time of the World Cup. The sheer pace, the fluctuating fortunes, the great goals, both Angel Di Maria as well as Benjamin Pavard. And the emergence of Kylian Mbappe as a new star. He is by far the best young player in this World Cup so far. His sheer pace, the way he destroyed the Argentinian defense. And the 20-minute period from the 48th to the 68th minute is the best football we have seen in this World Cup so far. Argentina went ahead 2-1 with Macedo's goal, and then the 3 brilliant goals by France finished off this Argentinian team, ended Messi's dream of the World Cup, and has forced people like Mascherano to retire, and probably many others also. But the pace, possession, rotation of France, the skill of Argentina. Angel Di Maria scored a brilliant equalizer just before halftime. So this was a match which was totally in contrast to what normally World Cups are, where matches are very tight and defenses are very compact and nobody moves up. This was an open attacking football, and France is slowly getting back to their best with Pogba and N'Golo Kante are absolutely outstanding. The energy, the work rate, and Pogba links up in attack. And France can move from defense into attack so quickly that it's very difficult to control, and Mbappe was involved in 3 of the 4 goals, getting 1 penalty and of course scoring 2 goals, great goals himself. One was a great passing movement and the other how he snatched the ball from the Argentinian defender and scored. So overall, in terms of quality football, fluctuating fortunes, contrast in styles, great goals, I mean, this was arguably one of the finest matches of all time. It could rank with Italy beating Brazil 3-2 in 1982. That epic match which Rossi got a hat-trick, and Italy beating Germany in extra time 5-4. You see, this is the only match of 4-3 in the history of the World Cup. Even the earlier World Cups when there would be a lot of high-scoring matches, we didn't go to extra time. 7 goals, and it didn't go to extra time. So it was a high-quality match, not many fouls. And then, of course, the revelation of Japan. They have shown that Asian football is on the improve. I personally rate it as the greatest performance by an Asian team, even though they lost. The South Korea beating Germany was a match which had a very little consequence for South Korea. There was no pressure on them. They could play freely. And we've seen Germany as a very average team. There was sectionalism and they don't have that pace and commitment of the past. But this was a knockout match in which Japan matched Germany, stride for stride, matched Belgium stride for stride, and held them till the first half, then took a 2-0 lead, which was absolutely amazing, especially that, till with half an hour to go, they were leading 2-0. And the absolutely brilliant goals scored by that Kenki, Haraguchi, and Takashi Inui. Inui's goal after a combined move, a low shot which beat a goalkeeper of the caliber of Courtois, was again outstanding. But again, I think this greater experience of their coach helped Belgium to win. He changed the formation, brought in another tall player, Fellini. So there were 2 tall, tough players, Romelu Lukaku and Fellini, and the Japanese, they didn't enjoy height advantage in defense. And he changed the style of play. He got in Nasser Chadli, who started floating crosses from the flank, and that is how it helped Belgium come back. Of course, Vertonghen's first goal was a bit of a luck, the looping header which went into the net, and the last goal was absolutely brilliant. I mean, in 10 seconds, from the goalkeeper bowling it over to Kevin De Bruyne, to Meunier, Lukaku dummy, and then Nasser Chadli finishing it off. So this was a high-quality match, but Japan has shown that they can compete with the best of the European teams because Belgium is very highly rated, and that they could match Belgium. Their fitness, their determination, Maya Yoshida, defender, was outstanding. So all the Asian countries ended up with a win. So only Japan qualified for the round of 16, which is very creditable for Asian countries, except Australia. All of them ended up with a win. Brazil had quite an easy victory against Mexico. They controlled the tempo a lot, and except for Neymar's theatrics, this was a match without any major controversy, but some brilliant movement of the ball, and Neymar was involved in both the goals, the back heel for the first goal, and then his run into space. Willian's big run. Willian is probably an unsung hero for Brazil, the work rate he does on the right. And above all, this Brazilian defense seems much better organized. And Thiago Silva and Alex Miranda, though in their 30s, they are 2 very competent defenders. Felipe Luis has slotted in very well despite Marcelo's injury. And very rarely, Brazil normally don't have good goalkeepers. Luckily for them this time in Alisson, they have a world-class goalkeeper. So Brazil look very compact in defense, and Mexico, flattered to deceive. I mean, they weren't really effective. Uruguay ended Portugal's hopes with 2 great goals by Cavani. Suarez and Cavani are playing with great maturity up front, so Uruguay is a very formidable team. Portugal again got exposed except Cristiano Ronaldo. Nobody else. The other forwards, Guedo and Adrian de Silva and even Bernardo Silva, were, quite disappointing. And Ronaldo didn't get enough support, and Cavani scored two excellent goals. And Uruguay can be a very difficult team to beat, especially with Diego Godin and Jimenez. They are two, players who play for the same club, Atletico Madrid, and they are very resolute, outstanding defenders, and could be amongst the best in the world. And the young midfield, Bentenko, Vecino, Numbers. So the Uruguay with an experienced goalkeeper Muslera, a very difficult team to beat. Coming to the predictions of the quarterfinals, obviously the quarterfinals on 6th July are the most interesting for this major reason, that is Europe versus South America. France versus Uruguay should be a thrilling match. The speed of France against the defense of Uruguay and the quick counter-attacks of Uruguay. So very difficult to predict. It's a 50-50 game because Uruguay is playing so well and Uruguay are known to be very ruthless. Hard tackling, if they can control Mbappe. So Giroud and Griezmann are not in full form. So this can, the battle the way Pogba and Umtiti and Varane will control Suarez. Umtiti will be playing against his own teammate, Suarez. This would be very interesting. But France also a lot of good young talent, Pavard and Lucas Hernandez. France may have an edge, but this is a very tight battle. Brazil-Belgium is another one everybody is looking forward to. But I think Brazil's defense is much stronger. Belgium, with Vincent Kompany recovering from injury, the defense is showing vulnerability. With Japan exposed several times. So unless Belgium score first, it's difficult to see them beating Brazil. Brazil defense is very compact. 4 matches so far, they've conceded just 1 goal, a set piece against Switzerland in their opening match. And with Neymar slowly returning to top form, Brazil's only worry is Gabriel Jesus is not scoring, but to compensate for that, the midfielders are all scoring. So, and Firmino came on and scored, so there is an option. Even though Casemiro will miss that match, Fernandinho is a very adequate replacement in central midfield. It is ensured after the 7-1 humiliation that there are no gaps at the back. So he's willing to be patient and wait for goals rather than, playing the Brazilian way of going all out in attack. So Brazil, I give them an edge there. Sweden versus England, again, a very tight game. Very difficult, a 1-goal match, but England's confidence should be very high, and I think Harry Kane is favored to win the Golden Boot. This time he's already on 6 goals. He's done good nick. England's spirit is very high. There are no injury worries. And if they don't make mistakes, England should get through here. Russia, Croatia should be favorites. Luka Modric and Rakitic and Perisic can all play to form. But the crowd, we've seen now fanatical crowd support for Russia. This match is going to be in Moscow. So it's going to be very difficult for Croatia. We're having an East European clash after very long because normally these games are held in East European teams haven't been doing so well. So this is the Luzhniki Stadium in Moscow, which has 80 to 85,000. So with 99% of the support for Russia, Croatia could struggle, and Russia will have also gained in confidence. This could be a match which again goes to extra time and penalties. Even England, Sweden could go to penalties, but a probable semi-final, if it goes according to form, should be France versus Brazil, and England